Hello! Today I'm cooking with Marky. I will be showing you how to make a Persian dish called Khoresht Bademjan, which is a stew made with eggplant. Now there are different types of eggplants that you can find in your store. I will briefly go over the different types after I show you the ingredients. So, let's get into the ingredients.
Okay, here you will have about half a pound to 1 pound of beef cut into 1.5 inch cubes, or just buy the beef for stew, which is what I did, so I didn't have to cut up anything. You will need 1 medium onion chopped, 1.5 tablespoons of turmeric, half a teaspoon of cinnamon. You will need 3/4 of a teaspoon of limon powder, just a pinch of cardamom, about 1/4 of a cup of tomato paste. This is optional. You can use 3/4 of a teaspoon of minced garlic, and here I just use pre-minced garlic because it's not as harsh as regular garlic, and a 1-inch piece of ginger, and this is also optional, half a teaspoon of cumin. And here you will need 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and also 2 to 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Alright, so I have I always call these Japanese eggplants. 4 Italian eggplants, and you can use 4 to 6. That will serve about 4 people. Here I have half a teaspoon of turmeric and 3 little tomatoes. These are Campari tomatoes, and they're really sweet, so I like to use those, but you can use whatever type of tomatoes you like. And you will need a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. So the pepper and salt you can, do to your liking, so just don't go off of what I said. Oh, also for the eggplant, when you're cooking them together with the tomato, you will need to reserve a little bit of the onion that you fry with the turmeric. I just wanted to briefly go over a few different types of eggplant. So this eggplant right here is what most will refer to as a classic or regular eggplant, and this is found in most grocery stores. This particular eggplant is really good for making eggplant parmesan, or putting it into a ratatouille, or any other recipe or dish that calls for big pieces of eggplant. This little guy is an Indian eggplant, which is also known as the baby eggplant, and this is really good for making torshi, and because the summer is coming up, I will soon have a video on how to make different types of torshi. Now this one is an Italian eggplant, which is really good for Khoresht Bademjan. So this is the type of eggplant that we will be using. So, like I said, I just wanted to briefly go over, because I know this is what most people will assume is the type of eggplant you would use, but in fact, you need this type of eggplant.
First, you're going to wash your eggplant. Now you're going to trim your eggplant. So you're going to cut off the excess stem. And then you're going to cut a little bit around the top. So this is what your eggplant is supposed to look like. Okay, so to peel, you're simply going to take a vegetable peeler and just peel the skin. So this is what your eggplant is supposed to look like once you have peeled it and stemmed it or destemmed it and trimmed it. So now I'm going to take a knife and I'm just going to go and cut about a 1.5 inch slit. I'm not going to cut all the way through, so you just cut about a 1.5 inch slit into the side of the eggplant. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of table salt. So about that much, if you can see it. And I'm just going to sprinkle it over the eggplant. And what this does is it helps draw out some of the moisture in the eggplant, because when you're frying it, you don't want your oil to splatter. So this, like I said, helps draw out some of the moisture. Okay, I actually didn't use the whole thing, so I used about 3 pinches, I guess you can say. And now I'm going to let this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I'll show you what the eggplant looks like with the little bit of moisture coming from the inside. Okay, so here's an eggplant. And if you can see, there are little beads of water on the surface. It looks like the eggplant is sweating, and that's what you want to happen. So I'm going to dry these off with a paper towel by simply just taking the eggplant, squishing it a little to get some of the excess moisture off of the surface. And once you do that, then your eggplant is ready to fry. In this pot, I've added about 3 tablespoons of grapeseed oil, and my heat is on medium-high, and now I'm going to add in my onions, being very careful so that the oil doesn't splash on me. And now I'm going to fry these until they are starting to brown on the edges. Okay, so my onions have browned. Now I'm going to add in the turmeric. And I'm going to fry that for about 1 minute. Now I will add in my beef. And I'm going to fry this for about 4 to 5 minutes. Also, don't forget to take out a little bit of the onion. So, about 2 tablespoons of about 2 tablespoons of the onion. Okay, so the beef, I'll turn this down so you can hear me. So the beef has cooked, and now I'm going to add in all the rest of my ingredients. So this is the cinnamon, the limumani powder. This is the cumin, the black pepper, and the salt. This is the ginger and the garlic. The tomato paste. And the lemon juice. Get all that in there, mix it up. And now I'm going to add in the 5 cups of water. Alright, so I stirred everything together, and I'm going to put a lid on, and I'm going to turn my heat to just a little higher than medium. So if your stove has numbers about from 1 to 9, it would be about between 6 and 7. So just a little higher than medium, and I'm going to cook this for 1 hour. So this has been cooking for 1 hour. I just added in 1 tablespoon of oil and the pinch of cardamom, and now I'm going to boil this, or not boil, I'm going to cook this uncovered on low for about 30 minutes. And I'm also going to taste my seasonings to see if I need to adjust anything. Alright, so here I've added my eggplant into the oil. I've used about 5 tablespoons of oil. And the reason why you cut the slit into the eggplant is so the oil can get inside of the eggplant and also cook the eggplant from the inside. So I'm going to cook this for about 2 to 3 minutes per side until they're golden. And if you need to add more oil, that's fine because the eggplant will absorb oil. So I just finished cooking my eggplants. I cooked them about 2 minutes per side. And now I'm going to put them in a pan with the rest of the ingredients to cook the eggplants in. So in this pan, I've added the eggplant, and I fried some eggplant yesterday, so I added in 2 additional eggplant just to use up some. And I've sliced the tomatoes and I placed them on top. I've also sprinkled the turmeric and about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I also put in the reserved onion that I fried with the turmeric from earlier. And so now I'm going to turn my heat to medium-low. I'm going to add just a little bit of water. This is about 1/4 cup of water. And now I'm going to cook this for about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And if you feel like your eggplant is cooking too fast, turn your heat to low. And I'm going to cover this with a lid. So
here is the lid. My heat is on medium-low, and like I said, I'm going to cook this for about 10 to 15 minutes. My eggplant is finished. So now I'm going to add the eggplant only into the other pot. So I'm going to reserve the tomatoes along with the excess liquid. So now I'm going to add my eggplant in, and you have to be very careful when doing this because the eggplant is really soft. Okay. So now I'm just going to spoon just a little bit of the khoresht on top. Not too much. Just so that it can be coated with the other ingredients. Okay, so now I'm going to cook this together on low for 10 minutes. No more than 10 minutes. I have cooked the eggplant for the additional 10 minutes. So now I'm going to turn my heat off and place this into a serving dish, and then I'll put the tomatoes on top. Now I'm going to gently place the eggplant into the serving dish. And now I'm going to pour the khoresht on top. Alright, so as my luck would have it, my other camera died, so I'm now recording on my phone. Alright, so you want to move the pieces of meat off of the eggplant. Okay, I can't exactly effectively do this well. So I'm going to make it so that the eggplant, you can see it on top, and then I'll put the tomatoes on top, because I can't do this one-handed. So here you have the Khoresht Bademjan. Normally this would look a little neater, but like I said, it's very hard to do this one-handed with placing the tomatoes on top. But you can serve this with either kate, which is a quick cooking Persian rice, or you can serve it with polo, which is the longer cooking Persian rice. So I will also take a picture of what it looks like on the table and with all the rest of the side dishes. In this pot I have some ghureh, which are unripe grapes. And these I got from my boyfriend's mother, so you probably won't be able to find them right now because it's not the season for them. But I'm just going to heat these up a little on medium because I froze them. So I'm going to cook them for about 2 to 3 minutes just to heat them through, and then I'm going to add them on top of the stew. And that is what I almost forgot. I would like to thank you for watching Cooking with Marky. I hope that you try this Khoresht Bademjan recipe. I hope that you share it with someone. And until next time, Khadafez.